Greetings and welcome once again to the Gaming Codex, the show where I try to explain to you all the various words and terms used to describe video games in the video games industry. And today's term is that of photo mode. And what exactly would that be? Well, it is a function of a video game that provides the user with additional control over the camera, allowing the capture of images in ways that would normally not be possible. This may extend to providing control over other game components such as lighting, resolution, color, and many more. The idea of a photo mode is not something new. It's been in some games for many years. Sometimes it was accidental. For example, the earlier Test Drive and Carmageddon games gave you the ability to record video of what you were doing, or at least play back video of what you were doing, and thusly enabled a photo mode because it allowed you to change the angle of the camera, it allowed you to change the position, it allowed you to change many factors relating to what you were actually seeing compared to what you would have been seeing were you to just be taking a screenshot from normal gameplay. In the past couple of years, this has been expanded upon because there has been a trend of creating artistic screenshots out of video games. Screenshots that highlight the game in ways that would normally not be possible and look just absolutely stunning, beautiful. For the most part, this was done by individuals that managed to either create or find tools that allow them to hack the games in such a way that they were given control over features they would normally not have control over. The most important of them all is the camera. With it being unrestrained from its confines, you have the ability to set up a scene in such a way that you are able to get the perfect picture, leading to an emerging form of art, which is the in-game picture, the tableau, if you will. And some companies have been quick to embrace this concept, implementing better and better methods of controlling the camera and all the effects needed to create works of art through pictures. Now, what would be the popular definition? Well, that can be, who cares? You can take screenshots with the print screen key. Noobs. Sometimes there is a bit of a misunderstanding of what a photo mode or a photo feature is in a game. Some people, if you would go and watch comments for the announcement of such features, will say, well, there's a print screen button. You can take a picture of the screen if you don't have a system that has a print screen button like a console. Just use your phone. I mean, what's the deal with photo modes? They're pointless, right? Such arguments will quite often gloss over the most important part of a photo mode. Taking the actual screenshot, that's not the important part. That can be done with just pressing the print screen key. That's the least important thing possible. It's everything else. It's letting you set up a shot. Set it up in a way that will not require you to spend 100 billion hours waiting for the exact right moment, which is what you would normally do in reality, and if you were not to have a photo mode or the tools to at least hack the components that you need to get them to where they need to be. Photo modes are more than just a print screen button, because on top of the camera, they will also let you sometimes do a lot of different things. They can let you tweak the lighting, change objects around, change the time of day, change the lighting itself, change the colors, add filters, and very importantly, change the resolution at which screenshots are actually taken. Because although the game may run at 1080p or it may run at 4K, a photo mode may let you take a screenshot at 40K, 50K, 80K, screenshots that are gigabytes in size. And they even enable you to take pictures in 360 degrees or even stereoscopic 360 degrees, meaning that you can take screenshots that you can then view in VR and they will look like they were made for VR. Since it's something taken out of a game engine, it will look exactly like it needs to look. But not all developers have the resources or the time to implement such a feature. So we're getting to the marketing definition, and that is, surprisingly, not as big a seller as the effort required to put it in there would suggest. Where is that Ansel? Currently one of the biggest third party, and by third party I mean not made by the game developers, photo mode is NVIDIA's Ansel. It has one single drawback. It requires NVIDIA hardware to work. Well, it has one major drawback and one smaller drawback. It still needs to be implemented by the developer on a game-by-game basis. So it's not something that will work out of the box for every game ever made. But it does cut down on some work and it does enable quite a few features. Ansel lets you create super resolution screenshots, it lets you control the camera however you want it to, lets you freeze the action while you fly with the camera to places where your character should not be. Even if it's a first-person game or a third-person game, you can unhook the camera from the character if it is a game that actively supports it. It is a wonderful, magnificent tool, and you will often find people wondering, well, it's not useful for anything. I mean, you could just press the print screen key. There's just some gimmick that they made up so that you'd buy more video cards, you sheep. But no, it's actually a really neat feature that should be implemented in pretty much every game and not require NVIDIA hardware, because technically it doesn't really use any NVIDIA hardware. It's more of a software thing. It's something that could probably be implemented by anybody on any kind of video hardware. And because implementing it would not require as much work on the part of the developer, it is something that is a bit more appealing than making everything from scratch. So you may find it gaining popularity, especially again if it were to work on more than just NVIDIA cards. Photo mode, if it's well made, is something that a game can really, I wouldn't say profit from, but at least the community would be able to express themselves very nicely by taking images from that game in very artistic ways. This sort of prohibits it being used in 2D games since there's not a lot you can actually do with them. They tend to not have things like lighting that you can control, maybe placement of objects, but it's not really something that you would need a photo mode for. But in 3D games, it can make a world of difference. The photo mode is indeed a good feature that you should try and enjoy if you have the chance. So closes another edition of the Gaming Codex. Come back next time when we'll talk about a brand new subject. Goodbye.